I've been using Markstrat for quite some time at two different universities. I teach a marketing strategy course at Columbia now. I like to teach in an experiential way, and what that involves is the students' ability to apply the concepts, the strategies, the lessons learned to real-world situations. So I do case studies, and I bring in guest speakers, and I have conversations around what's going on in the business world at the moment, and they're able to use lessons learned from all of those things, including the simulation, to highlight a practical approach to the concepts and the strategies. So specifically on the simulation, it provides a very hands-on approach to, I'll call it the day in the life of a brand manager. And it requires them to get comfortable with working with each other. Typically have groups of 3 or 4, and I try to create diverse teams in both background and in where they're from, and gender and academic background and work experience and industry, so they get a chance to learn from each other. There's some leadership elements to working together. There's some team member elements to working together. There's the opportunity to learn from each other, to agree to disagree, to kind of figure it out together, to brainstorm, and all of these wonderful things simulate the workplace. I've been in a product management role, and you do that every day. You're connecting with your colleagues, you're discussing, you're brainstorming, you're working with R&D and operations and marketing and sales and all these other groups to think it through, ask questions, and make some sometimes very hard decisions. I've had a few students in the last 3 years who have had either internship or full-time role interviews. And when they were asked about making decisions as a brand product manager, they used Markstrat as an example. And they highlighted the challenges and the learning curve. They highlighted the opportunity to review the data and work as a team. So Markstrat provides a nice way of sharing your accomplishments in a variety of ways. As a leader, as a communicator, as a partner, as a team member, as a strategist, as a planner, all those things provide kind of a foundation for people to obviously simulate the real world, but also convey a message of how they contribute to their team. They viewed it as experiential, as real world, as hands-on. Obviously, it's a simulation of the workplace. And then when you convey the message around, it's not just each person making these decisions, they're teams, then that creates a higher level of dynamic, where you've got groups of 3 or 4 people, where person A may do this and person B may do that, and person C, etc., where they're working together, they're sharing, they're learning, they're connecting, they're agreeing or disagreeing, they're brainstorming. That level of dynamic is far more interesting to the employer than the functional or the technical details.